Jackie Walters here. I'm so glad you found me because I'm here for you. My greatest joy in life is to help individuals, to guide them, teach them, empower them to take charge of their lives with easy movements to reduce and even get rid of pain, stiffness, and tightness in their body. Today's video is about a great stretch that I just love. It's about reducing the tightness throughout the hips. And if you have hip pain, this may be a perfect exercise for you. Or if you just have tightness, I think you'll like this video. I want to share one of my favorite all-time hip stretches. And there are precautions with any stretch, and I always urge you to check with your doctor before you begin any stretching program, any exercise program. Very important. And the second thing, I always want you to remember that not every exercise is appropriate for every individual, and you need to listen to your own body. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it hurts, absolutely stop what you're doing. So, to begin with, this stretch is called the 90-90 stretch, but I love to give pet names to most of my stretches and exercises because it helps my clients remember what they're supposed to do because they have this image. And so my pet name for this exercise is called the pinwheel stretch. Basically because your legs are kind of placed in a pinwheel position, half pinwheel this way, then half pinwheel on the other side. Before I actually go into the stretch, I'd like to do a little bit of warming up. So I'm going to turn sideways. My leg is straight out from the hip to the side, and my leg is straight out from my hip directly in front of me. And I like to gently move the body back and forth and add a little bit of a stretch with my arm just to waken up all the hip muscles. And if you go to my blog online, JackieWalters.com, you'll see that my December blog is all about the hips. And to me, the hips are just magical. The way the structure and the architecture has formed in the body as we develop and as we grow. And I get into this in depth in my blog. So now I've just gently warmed up my body. And again, I'm going to make sure the placement is in these 90-90 degree pinwheel positions. The hip is straight out, or the leg is straight out from the hip, 90 degrees. Hip to the side, 90 degrees. Now, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to place it fingertips away from me so I can gently allow my chest to rise and a nice lordotic curve, because this is a hip stretch, it's not a back stretch. So if you round your back and go into the stretch, you're not truly getting into those deep hip rotators that we're trying to address and trying to stretch and feel good so they can breathe. Now, I always like to say inhale and then begin your stretch with an exhale. And the first position is mid-chest over the knee. And you may want to hang on to your shin to add to the stretch to give you support. And gently press from the back to keep that chest up, looking up over the horizon. And think about the glute muscles. And as Paul Chek says in his videos and in the trainings I've taken, think of headlights in the buttocks, and they're shining back behind you and even upwards a little bit, but don't put too much of a lordotic curve into that low back. Be careful and listen to your body. I recommend holding stretches to really reprogram the body and the brain for a minute. Now, if that stretch is difficult for you, just stop there and switch to the other side. If you feel, my hips are very, very tight, if you can bring keeping that back in its neutral curve, your chest all the way down, then switch to a more difficult portion of this stretch, which is mid-chest over the shin, and stretch forward. You'll feel a shift in the hip and where the fibers are being stretched. If you can do that one also, even mildly, that's even going to give your hips greater flexibility. And the final move is torso, mid-torso, toward the foot. Again, you're going to feel that shift deep within the hip, and everyone is a little different. If you get any numbness and tingling into your feet or down your legs, stop doing what you're doing. There could be something else going on and you need to check with your doctor. When you press your knee into the floor, it's going to activate the gluteus maximus. And when you press your ankle, it activates the hip rotators. Now there's a variation I like to show because there's a population of people that can't even begin to get into that position. They're so tight, and I consider my hips pretty tight, but there are people even with hips tighter than mine. So I'd like to show this stretch, and you can use a massage table or a physio table or a bench at the gym. And you actually place yourself with one leg bent in that same position, knee and leg, the femur of the leg straight out from the hip. Let the other leg gently fall. If you need to get extra support, you can put perhaps a log underneath or a block, maybe a yoga block, and then proceed into the stretch. I hope that helps. Thanks so much for joining me. Go to JackieWalters.com, download my 4 easy movements to begin your journey for better posture and a pain-free or reduced pain life. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.